body and mind, making one person. The body isn't a machine with some little intelligent mannequin sitting in the brain pulling the levers. That's a ridiculous image, and yet sometimes we think like that. That's the image that comes to my mind when I hear someone say, "Pull yourself together." What am I supposed to be pulling? And who's doing the pulling?
You don't need to go to medical libraries for examples of how mind and body work together. Look at your everyday experience. Look at the instructions on medicine bottles telling you that the pills may cause drowsiness and you shouldn't drive or work with machinery. Illness affects how we think. Pain stops us thinking clearly. We don't make important decisions under the influence of drugs or medicine if we've got any sense. And we know that decisions made in the pub under the influence of alcohol don't always look such a great idea the next morning. We also know the glow of well-being that comes from enjoyable physical exercise, the shivers down your spine when someone you love says they love you, and then there's that expansive feeling after a good meal. Thoughts and feelings affect us physically, and our physical states affect our thoughts and feelings. It's easy to see the effect of our physical state on our mental state. It's usually fast, direct, and obvious. Sometimes it's more difficult to make the connection in the other direction, how our thinking affects our physical health and well-being. Why? Because it happens more slowly. Like the movement of the minute hand on a clock, it's hard to see the movement. Every time you glance, it seems to be still. But you know it's moving because it changes over time. You see the movement in the contrast. Look at the lines on your face. They show your habitual expressions in your life. Your expressions are the result of your thoughts and emotions leaving traces on your face over the years. Your expressions prove that emotions have a physical effect over time. Look in a mirror every day and you'll never notice the change from one day to the next. But look at a photograph of yourself a few years ago and you'll immediately see the difference between then and now. Your mind is sensitive. It responds very quickly to what happens in your body. Your body usually changes more slowly in response to thoughts and emotions. It's hard to learn from experience if the effect comes a long time after the cause. It would be hard to make the connection between putting our hand on a hot stove and the resulting blister if the blister came up a week later instead of at the time. You'd keep getting mysterious blisters. There's a cause, but you wouldn't link it to the result. The modern science of psycho-neuroimmunology researches the interaction between our immune system, our nervous system, and our states of mind, and it provides plenty of evidence of a link between our thinking, habitual emotions, and our physical health. Long-term positive states are good for your health. For example, a 9-year study that began in 1979 showed that people who had a good network of supportive friends and relatives had mortality rates between 2 and 5 times lower than those without this support. This lower death rate was independent of any other risk factors, such as smoking, and the link was the same for both men and women in every social group. Good relationships are good for your health. Harvard psychologist David McClelland showed a group of students a short film of Mother Teresa caring for the sick and dying on the streets of Calcutta. The immune systems of the students showed an increased response regardless of what the students thought of Mother Teresa. It seems that love and caring affects us at a deep physical level. There are also many studies of how constant negative emotions can undermine your health. Long-term negative states are bad for your health. Chronic anger and impatience puts people at an increased risk of a heart attack. Chronic depression is associated with both increased risk of heart problems and cancer. Depression makes our immune system less effective.